welcome. This is Kevin, also known as AWOL. And man, this was a big I knew this was going to be big. And I even said in the pattern making that this was going to be advanced. I knew that going into it. Had a couple errors. Ended up with an extra video out of this, right? Because I got partway into it and discovered that I had made a mistake with the color, and what should have been a purple coming in was an orange, and so I had to alter the whole pattern. So that was a little bit of a fiasco. I'm so hard on myself. I swear to God, I am so hard on myself when it comes to things like that. But in the end, I think that actually turned out to be kind of a blessing because I really like the way that part turned out. First, let me point out that we have 18 strings in just this little area that I'm working on right here. That's a pretty kind of decent sized bracelet by itself. And we're going to do a whole other side to it. I do kind of skip where I get the strings kind of counted out side to side. And that took a while. All in, this, for just the part that's sped up here, right, is 4 hours and 25 minutes. Now, I don't typically do this many strings, so I can't say is that a good score, a bad score, or otherwise. But I can say that it definitely took me longer because, well, this first part here, right? I'm just looking at a pattern on the screen and working to it. That was fine. At some point, it got to me where I was having a harder and harder time knowing where I was in the project, to the point that I needed something to tick off areas as I completed it. So, and I don't know where exactly I was. I didn't like kind of mark it down or, write out something to remind me for this later on. But at some point after the two are joined and it's kind of coming down a little bit, I couldn't take it anymore. I opened up the same program that we used to design it. It's called GIMP. I know that every single time I say that, it gets bleeped out in the closed captions. We have to re-put it back in because for some odd reason, I guess YouTube thinks that's a bad word. It's not. It's an application. It stands for something, image manipulation program or something like that. I don't know what the G is. Anyways, it it was that hard. I had to do that just to make it easier on myself. It was, like I said, it was pretty crazy. I had some rough patches there. But that said, I did not do anything with the directions of the strings. I kind of pretty much let things kind of go straight they could. If I had to do a change, I did, which caused the colors. By the way, the it looks kind of blue on the screen. It's a kind of a blue and purple variegated floss that's used in this. Yeah, there was a mistake. Uh, it's variegated. It keeps changing the colors, and so by letting things kind of go straight here and there, it caused the colors to change. It's very galaxy looking. It is very. It's so cool. I am absolutely so blown away by this. In the making of it, it really, like, at some point I'm like, look, this is going to be a bag. So I need to make a video to work out a few of the details to make it a bag. For one, when you put two bracelets together, you end up with an extra row. So I need to figure out what's going to happen in those rows in between. Is it going to be a good thing, a bad thing? I just need to see what that looks like. The other thing is, if I did it exactly like this, you would end up with 6 little diamonds at the bottom. And if you don't, there's a weird thing about when you make a cylinder. If you have small diamonds, and there'll be a lot more, right? Than say if you do great big ones, right? If you do too many small diamonds, and you get them all knotted around, you'll end up with a big hole right in the middle of it. So I don't know what the math is in this. I don't know quite how it works, but it's a thing. It's just a fact. It's how it works. So rather than having it do 6 in the circle, I'm going to reduce it to 3 by making the bottom part here come down all the way. And then, because there'll be the bag I'm thinking will be 3 times this size. So that is the plan. Personally, I'm pretty stoked about the notion. I think it's going to look pretty amazing. By the way, too, the orange here is. I got a flashlight for it. I wonder if you can see it. Yeah, too many lights in the office here, but it's fluorescent. It glows. This is a black light. It glows. It is amazing. It looks so darn cool. I'll take a photo and I'll show you guys what that's like. Um, Hands down, it's an amazing looking bracelet. It's not going to be for everybody to want to make. I just guarantee it. It's not. It's hard. Easier if you cross off things as you go. Still kind of hard. Um, I did try kinda to segment, um, but most of the time I tried to keep from making mistakes and just work like all this up here. This was all just about trying to work on areas that I could easily see where I was, guide myself as to keep from making a mistake. That was more important than trying to find the quickest, easiest, shortest way to segment knot it. Um, I'm not embarrassed that that's the route that I took. In fact, I think it's kind of good to be out there to know that, if it gets complicated enough, just take it easy, work it out, go smooth with it. Yeah. Um, yeah, I don't, again, so mind you too, this is sped up as fast as my editor will let me do it in a one time around. Right. So this is like 10 times speed. Um, Normally we do the playback is like 4 times. So this is seriously sped up. Again, because it was over 4 hours of recording. There were a couple times where I did stop the recording because I was just like, wait a second, where am I? What the heck is going on? And I think that there's still, even while I'm recording, I still think there were some areas where you might notice some hesitation. Um, and that really just kind of came down to trying to count rows, try to figure out, am I on the right path and stuff. Um, yeah, that was quite a bit. Like I said, at one point I had to stop, correct the pattern. That took a little bit of time. That was not even like part of the 4+ hours to make it. So yeah, I mean, this took about a little while. Um, I doubt that they'll be really going back to the dress thing again. But I might explore the middle area of this because I really did kind of like how that turned out. Oh, I was saying too, the strings. So like I didn't do anything to try to figure out how a string was going to be like used or worry about one being used more than another. and they all the length turned out fine. In fact, they were so long that Mandy went and kumied the tails. So there you go. That's definitely a long thing. We are just past, I think, the halfway point, give or take. It's going to end abruptly. I do want to thank my Patreon supporters as well as my YouTube members for making this possible. Um, I have the fluorescent floss to make a bag for this, but I don't have the variegated one. And obviously, that means it's just another order, and I'm going to have to get a bunch of that again. Um, and it's their contribution that makes that kind of stuff possible because, um, yeah, I go through a lot of floss. This was a whole packet. Like, I don't know where the, I know I have more from that company around here somewhere, probably in the trolley. Um, that was 6 skeins of variegated floss used at once, and then 6 skeins of fluorescent used at once, all one bracelet, right? That's 12 skeins of floss right there. If I were buying floss at, I don't know, I'm in Singapore, so we don't have like, um, we don't have a Walmart, we don't have Joann Fabric, anything like that. I would have to go to like Spotlight. If I went to Spotlight to buy the floss to make this, that would have been just $12, maybe a little bit more. Like, I don't know. I don't, I, the last time I looked at, I think it has gone over $1 now, per skein. But I don't know by how much. It's still the idea that it just floss alone is greater than $12 to make one bracelet. Just blows my mind, you know. And I'm doing this like all the time, right? I'm making tons and tons and tons of bracelets. I mean, you know, wow. So yeah, um, yeah, I couldn't support my floss habit without the contributions made by people who want to keep the channel going, who want to see where this goes, to, you know, just want to throw in some support towards it. My channel may be monetized, but I don't get an awful lot from that. Um, it is what it is. I'm not that big of a channel yet. Um, I'd like to be. Oh man, I would love if I could turn this into like a real job where, big incomes kind of stuff. That would be awesome, but not there yet. So, um, by the time it gets into the squares, it somewhat becomes easier. I'm still having to cross things off, but it's easier to see where I am on the pattern as well as what I have to do within it. That especially becomes true once I get past the halfway point and it all starts to come inwards. Then it really started to pick up speed for me. Um, and that was exciting. That was, to me, was absolutely just woohoo, here we go. And yeah, yeah. Again, when I saw the pattern, like when I first, copied and pasted and then pasted the top to, and saw what it was going to be. Because when the quarter part, it's like a cool idea. Like, yeah, there's going to be diamonds. Yep, there's going to be zigzags. Yeah, there's going to be um, some curving lines. When I put it all together and realized that there was some kind of a weird optical illusion in the middle that makes it look like, well, I think it kind of looks like a checkerboard through a fisheye lens. That's how, when I look at that, that's how I kind of see it. And um I realized, like, wow, this is going to be fun. This is going to be interesting. This is going to be different. Actually, like getting to the halfway point, it was starting to become noticeable, like where this it was going. Like, ooh, this is pretty good. I think I kind of like it. By the time I get past the diamonds and into the zigzags and could really see it, I was just, man, I just smiling from ear to ear. I absolutely just loved this. Um, Most of the day that this was recorded, I had been on a live stream and talking about what I was going to do and getting things ready and tackling a bunch of other things. This was not recorded during a live stream. Like most of the time, like even this recording is not happening during a live stream. This is actually supposed to be a day off, but I have work to do, and I'm excited about this. I want to talk about it. So yeah. Um, so unfortunately, you don't get to watch the 4+ hours of me working on it. Um, it is what it is. Not everything gets recorded. Lots, lots. We're over 70 something of the behind the scenes live streams so far. And those range from a couple hours to 5 hours or something. So, I mean, if you're a member, you get to see all kinds of stuff going on. Um, so yeah, I mean, that's kind of cool. I wish I could say that there was as many benefits for the Patreon subscribers as there are for the YouTube members, but YouTube members have it going on just by the fact that YouTube just has really cool integrated tools. So it's just they made it easy, and so I just do it. So there. Um, yeah, you can see the whole bringing it into the point kind of made it easier to kind of see where I was, do the things. Yeah. Um, Trying to think if there's anything else. Uh, yeah, again, I can't emphasize enough just how advanced this is. I don't want to get anybody caught in this idea that yeah, you can do it. Um, Only to run into a snag of maybe you could, maybe this was kind of hard because it's kind of hard. It's, it's like I said, it is what it is. It takes a lot. Um, if let's say you're kind of okay at making friendship bracelets, you've been doing it for a little while, and you wanted to tackle something this hard, I would say, sure, do it. Do what I did. Cross off as you go along, so that way you can keep track of things. Um, because it's a two-color thing, you should be able to adjust the tone for a printer to just be able to get like a regular like a Xerox, like a regular black and white of this if you needed to, and you could mark it out with pencil if that was a thing, because you could. Um, so that saves you in case, can't do it on the phone, can't do it on your computer, whatever. That's a way of doing this one. If it was a bunch of colors, that probably would not work. But this is two colors. Um, and being two colors, you literally could do this in any two colors as long as they have a nice contrast. And I'm sure it would look awesome. Um, at the end here, I'm going to do like the whole reveal thing and really give you guys a chance to have a really good look at it, because it's so awesome. Um, oh, and it's not going in the. I don't think it's going into the shop. If somebody were to say, "Look, gotta have it," you know, I'll send you a bunch of money. I will consider, but it's. I don't imagine a lot of people want to wear something that's, you know, that it's huge. It is so big. See it, and it's so pretty. And the tails, I mean, it's got the tails. It honestly, the tails look like leopard print. That's the only way I can kind of describe it. It's the same pattern that Mandy used um, in the loop. It's just it's so freaking cool. I could probably get Mandy to do that one. She did some fancy kind of knots and stuff on some shorts of mine. You just kind of give it a tug. I bet you she could do that to this, and then it'd be able to come on and off kind of easy. That might be the ticket. I don't know. I don't think it's going into the shop. I think it's just going to be kept around here, um, just to remind me that while you're out, look for inspiration. It's it looks nothing. Look at that. Does that look at all like the dress? Nope. Don't see any of the dress in there at all. It is so. Look at that. That is. ah, yeah. So yeah. I mean, random thing. Again, the photo of the dress that I've shown you is not my own photo. I have a friend that works at the mall, and I was like, I think I want to do a thing with that. Can you get a photo for me? And while I'm trying to figure out like a map of the mall, I'm like doing this internet search and I'm trying to find things and I'm trying to point to like where it is. The photo came in and I'm like, that's the one. That's it. You got it. Oh man. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, my goal on days off now are to see if I see something that I can somehow try to incorporate and use. Sometimes it's just colors. Sometimes um and sometimes I don't show you those because um they're very branded and uh that could get me into copyright issues by showing branded stuff. I to be perfectly honest, I don't 100% understand how that works. A long time back, I tried to do a video of the lights coming on Orchard Road, which Orchard Road is like just famous for the malls and these beautiful buildings, and it's just there's so many like fancy big name brands down this street. And so Mandy and I were on a bike. I had a GoPro on my helmet, and which is a horrible idea because it's crazy warm in Singapore. And so wearing a helmet, I think by the time I got done to the end of the strip with the malls, I was probably about to pass out from the heat from wearing the helmet, which was bad. But anyways, I uploaded it, and yeah, YouTube was like, no. And they don't explain to you why that is or what it is. They're just like, no. So, and it could be a brand name on the side of a building. It could be the building itself. So yeah, a lot of times I avoid showing some of the stuff that is used for the inspiration, and that's why. So yeah, don't hate the player, hate the game. Random. But yeah, so you can see we're kind of getting towards the end. I think the blue in the very middle part, I think that part's it's done. So basically I'm just working out one of the two diamonds down here at the end. And then I just have to work out the other side. So yeah. Um, I don't. So that side, I really tried segmenting where I could. I was trying to do things, and I didn't feel it went that great. It was okay, but it wasn't great. This side, I decided I'm just gonna go row by row down, change directions where I have to, whatever I have to do, just get one row down at a time. Well, first off, this side is just I'm just going to the right, so that's my preferred direction. Um, but yeah, it did feel like it was a bit easier. If for no other reason, I could check off the whole row at once as as I got to the end, I could just check off that row. Again, checking off rows was great because each row looks really similar, and yeah, no, just being able to yep, nope, that one's done. Now we're on this. Did make it easier. So I would not do the whole bracelet like this, like one row at a time. I don't think that would work out that great. I don't know. But yeah, this is this part here is kind of wrapping up. And like I said, after all this, I'm gonna come back and show you the bracelets, and we'll turn off some lights so I can kind of show you the glow. Hopefully my flashlight's got enough of a charge on it. I haven't charged it in ages. But yeah, there we go. All right, right back. Okay, check this out. So this is the black light, and yeah, the orange just goes crazy. It's so fun. And yeah, I was right. The battery on that thing is about dead. So this is the overall bracelet. These are the kumis, and like I said, it's kind of like a leopard kind of print ish. I don't know. I think they're supposed to be like little boxes, but then like it doesn't completely do it. I don't know. It's pretty neat though. Um like I said, I'm super happy with the results. I don't know if you can really see how much of a color change there is between the blues and then the purples, but it is so cool. I'm absolutely just blown away with how this thing turned out. So yeah, that's the bracelet, guys. Hopefully you guys had a good time. Hopefully, well, I mean, if you're still here, awesome. Thank you. Um, so yeah, thanks again. And as always, don't get your strings in a bunch.